Hello, this is the new channel, Magic the Gathering Pac-Man, and tonight was the first release of Phyrexia, All Will Be One, little reverse there. I've got 3 pre-release packs and 6 set boosters. We're going to go through, I don't know, I know a few of the cards in it, but I don't know exactly what all's in it. So together we're going to find out what's in this new set that just got released and what type of stuff you can get. These will be pre-release boxes. I have 3 of those, 3 of these pre-release boxes, which contains 6 booster packs and 1 special card. They generally retail about 25 bucks, and I got 6 set boosters. They usually retail around 5 bucks a piece, and we're going to see what's in these. So we're going to crack the first one open. Each of these will have a 20-sided spin down life counter die, purple and black. And the special card in this one, ooh, real good one. Phyrexia Vindicator, the pre-release. It's a foil and it's the pre-release. 4 mana cost for a 5/5. Damage dealt, it would prevent it and then sling that much damage back to whatever tried to do damage to it. So very good card, one of the key cards in the set. It is a mythic, so real good pull so far for this one. Okay, opening the first pack. Couple new mechanics in this one. First one's, they're bringing the poison counters back. This set's going to be heavy and poison counters. So right now, Magic still says they're going to stay with 10 will beat the player if they get 10 or more, but they're looking at maybe tweaking that mechanic because this set's got a lot of poison counters in it. The other counters that are in it is oil counters, and those will be put on. They have different effects. They're sort of like the other sets. Each oil thing affects the card differently. So in there you got basically the 15 cards in the booster packs. Not going to go through many of the commons or anything, you know, just got a lot of them. They did bring back, this is one common, they did bring back Telemorphic Expanse instead of Evolving Wilds. It works the same way, so if you like the fetch lands, it's a real good one. It fetches. They come into play tap though. Okay, so you get past the commons. The uncommons, we got a Gleeful Demolition, which is artifact destruction, and it gives you a little token creature when you do it. Then you have an Ambulatory Edifice, which when it enters the battlefield, you can pay 2 life to give a creature -1/-1 till end of turn. Good to beat out little weenie creatures with regeneration. Got Against All Odds, has one of the choose one or both things, and it exiles target artifact or creature and then blinks it back. Sort of does a blink, and then 1 returns it from the graveyard to the battlefield with mana value 3 or less. And then the rare in this one, Green Sun's Twilight. Rares are always good ones. This one's, you're revealing X+1 cards in your library. Choose a creature card from among them. Put those cards in the hand and the rest on the bottom of the library. If X is 5 or more, instead put the chosen cards onto the battlefield or into your hand, and the rest at the bottom of your library, any random order. So real good card. Green is got some strong stuff in this set, and that's one of them. And then the lands, they've got a couple full art lands. That's one of them, which is real nice. I do like the new land art in this. That's one of them. And then they got some Phyrexia language lands that look pretty sleek too. Wrong one. Okay, then we're going to go to the next one in this box. They brought back Thrill of Possibility as a common. The new lands, they come into play tapped. Each of them, you can sacrifice it and get an effect like draw cards, stuff like that. But they're just basic common stuff. I know Murs are going to be making a comeback. There's a little common Mur or something, but they're putting some cards that's going to make those powerful, and some of the old Murs are actually going up in value. But you get past the commons, and then the uncommons. Got one to feed the infection, and it's pay 3 life, draw 3 cards for a total of 3 colorless and 1 black. And this one has the new casualty counter or casualty effect on some of these. If an opponent has 3 or more poison counters on that one, they lose 3 life also. Then you got the Paladin of Predation. And the thing about this one, it's an uncommon. 7 to cast for a 6/7, but it is toxic 6, so 10 toxic counters. You get some combat damage with that one. You've got 6 of it. And it can't be blocked by small creatures. It has to be pretty big ones. So pretty nice one, especially if you got stuff to get them through to do the combat damage. 6 toxic, 2 hits with that, they're done. Then this is a Celiphoid Sentry. It's one of these cards equal to number of artifacts controlled and 5 toughness. Just a multicolored artifact creature. Then you got the Phyrexian Arena. That one you just draw a card and lose a life every upkeep. Sort of to get you some card drawing. And then I got another uncommon foil, Churning Reservoir. And then, so I was talking earlier, got the Phyrexian land cards, which look really nice also. That's a mountain. So there's 2 of them. Like I said, the main one so far is the Vindicator. Although the Arena probably be somewhat some value too. Haven't seen any with the oil counters yet. We'll probably start hitting some of those. This one's just a big one with Menace and Reach. Big red, 5/5, and it has this 5 to cast. Apostle of Invasion, Phyrexian Angel. Not sure how those work, but that's another one that the Corrupted, if they have 3 or more poison counters, it gets double strike. So it's a 4/4. Becomes really powerful if they do that. Then you got the Ravager, Cinderlash Ravager. That one costs one less for each permanent you control with the oil counters. There's the first one we got with the oil counters that are uncommon and rare. And then these are the new dual lands. I'm not too crazy about them. They're lands. They don't say like swamp, mountain on them, or mountain swamp, which is better for them. And these come into play tapped unless you have 2 or fewer. So you got to get those early in the game to get any use out of that. And we got a basic island card, which, like I said, the art on those are nice. Not sure how those lands would be. I prefer 2 or more, but you never know. 2 or fewer, it's still a dual land. Um, Here's one of the counter cards, a Phyrexia Mike token. You actually have a couple cards that create those. Uh, get past the commons. There's another oil counter card. Comes into it with an oil counter. And that one, you draw cards when it dies equal to the oil counters on it. And you got things, a lot of populating things that will help you with oil counters and stuff like that, and stuff that moves oil counters around. Then you got an incubation site, another oil counter card. And then you remove them to create stuff and pay a little mana. And you create 3/3 colorless golem artifact creatures. Then you got some equipment, the infected flesh cutter. When a creature you equip that with attacks, you create the Phyrexia Mite, the token I just showed you. And then this one, Kethic Crucible Goliath. It's a big 4/4 for 4. End step, you have to sacrifice another creature. Or it says you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, you can reveal the top of your cards until you reveal a non-legendary creature card with lesser mana value. Put it in the battlefield, and then you put the rest at the bottom of your library. So, not a bad card there. And then another of the Phyrexian language. That's a plane. Go with another one. Pass through the commons. This is another one. Another golem, the HR plate golem. Anyway, any oil counters gives it a +1/+1 and adds oil counters when it comes into control. So that's why you boost those oil counters. Got the new alternate art thrumming bird. This one does the proliferates. That gives them a lot of stuff. When it deals damage, it proliferates. And as you can see, it's sort of the inky, oily art that they do, alternate art. Then you got another proliferate card that returns a card from the graveyard to your hand. Unnatural restoration. Then you got Geth, the alternate art. Geth, Thane of Contracts. Other creatures you control get -1/-1. And you can return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. If it would leave the battlefield, you exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. Activate as a sorcery, but it's that inky art for 3 for a 3/4. Rare card. And then this one, really good pack. Got a foil mythic. Got a Planeswalker. Nahiri, the Unforgiving. Real nice one. There is no big negative abilities. Has where you can pay for 1 with life instead of with mana. If you don't have the mana, you can pay 2 life. Until your next turn, the 1 target creature attacks a player. Each combat a Fable is the first one that gives it +1. Next +1s, discard a card, then draw a card. And then for 0, exile target creature equipment card with mana value less than Nahiri's loyalty from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that token. It gains haste, and then you exile it at the end of the next turn. So, not really overly powerful abilities other than to draw a card, discard a card. That will work in several decks pretty nicely. But that's a foil Planeswalker, so real nice looking card. It is a mythic, so still a nice pull with a Planeswalker. And then you got the forest, the basic forest that's full art. Okay, got the last pack of the first box. So go past the commons. This is a common, but some of that more inky art. So I said they got several cards that they put that commons, uncommons, and rares. Obviously has the inky art. Haven't seen any mythics yet with that, but there may be some. So you got a bladed ambassador. Kind of quicken this up. Voidwing Hydra hybrid. Serum Snare. And another Planeswalker, Phyrexia. Little higher to cast than some of them. 6 cast or 5 plus 2 life. You can draw a card and lose 1 life. Proliferate, which would give everything an extra counter. Target creature becomes the treasure, or target creature becomes a treasure artifact with sacrifice, add 1 of any other colors, and loses all other creature types and abilities. That would be good. If the enemies have a real bad creature or something in your way, you can turn it into a treasure for -2. And then -9, target player has fewer than 9 poison counters. They get a combat, or they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. So basically puts them at 9 poison counters if they got lower than that. So you get them 9 and then proliferate the next turn, pretty much win with that one. So that's Vraska, Betrayal String. Another mythic one. Real nice one. And then full art mountain. Lands seem to be all full art in this one, which is nice. So that's the first one. You got a couple Planeswalkers. You got the Phyrexian Vindicator. So real nice for the first box. Started with a nice card that come with it and ended with a couple Planeswalkers, which were nice. Especially when you got one Planeswalker that the ultimate ability can win the game, even though it's a pretty high one. So we're going to the second box. We're going to try to move quicker here. Blue and black tokens, a little different color. Promo cards, one of the dual lands. You gotta have fewer than 2 or it comes into play tapped. So if you have 2 or fewer, it comes into play untapped. Once you get after that, these come into play tapped dual lands. And they're not like, that ain't a forest plane, it's just a land. So I'm gonna go straight again. Venomous Brutalizer, Toxic 3, Phyrexia Skitterfang. It's just something that comes with all counters, and you can use them to give other creatures like special abilities. You got the feed the infection, another one. They got poison counters. If they got 3 or more poison counters, they lose 3 life along with you, but you draw 3 cards. Then here's another mythic. Ooh, this one's like a doubling season, but white. So you can, one or more tokens would be created, you create double that. And you can sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures and put an indestructible counter on Mondrak, Glory, Dominus. So that's going to be one of the good ones too, because it is a doubling season type thing. Doubles your tokens, which is always useful. It's a mythic. And then you got the Phyrexian language forest, which those all look nice. Then a token card. Next, go past the commons, and then you just gonna sort of go through, unless there's anything special about them. Another myrrh that they're doing, a toxic myrrh. And you can pay life to make mana of any color. Just an instant that gives your stuff indestructible till end of turn. And then another 2 or fewer dual land. 2 or fewer comes in untapped. Other than that, it's a tapped one. But then, real good one, Phyrexia Grand Unifier. They have one in another set that come out. This one's a little different. It's still 4 colors, all but red. 7 total for a 7/7 to start it. This is the full art version, so this is probably a pretty valuable one. Real nice looking card, full art, full. And when this one enters the battlefield, you look at the top 10 cards. Then for each card type, you may put a card type from among the revealed cards in your hand, the rest at the bottom of the library in any random order. So, really nice card. And it looks super nice with the foil and the full art. Then you got just full art mountain and token. So that one's starting off, didn't look too good with the lamb, but then went up really good with that one. Poison counter. So it looks like all the singular lands, special lands, the commons that they enter the battlefield tapped. They're spears, but the thing you get out of them is you can sacrifice them for 1 and other of the color it produces, and then tap it, and you sacrifice it and draw a card. So, not a great thing, but decent ability. Another Resistance Reunited. Gives it indestructible and 2/2 till end of turn. Another one, this one's Corrupted. For drawing, you can draw 2 cards, and if they have 3 or more poison counters, it's 2 less to cast, so you can draw 2 cards for 1 blue mana. They've got the poison counters. A 4 Mirrodin special ability, they're calling it. Whenever you do that, it says when they enter the battlefield, you create a 2/2 red rebel creature token and attach the equipment to it. So it's sort of like the The other one's where you create the 1/1 and attach the equipment for it. And then, ooh, another mythic, nice one. All will be one. That one, when you create any counters, you do start, when you put any one or more counters on any permanent or player, you do damage to them. So you put poison counters on them, you do damage to them. You put oil on your stuff, counters on them, you damage. Each time you proliferate, starts doing damage. So really good card there. It's a mythic. Then you got the Phyrexia art. Go back to the All Will Be One. Real nice mythic card. Going to find this way in a lot of decks for 5 red. Especially stuff that creates tokens. When you got token decks that have red, locust, stuff like that, it's going to be really nice. But, well, the locusts are tokens. It's about it's counters that go on a permanent or player. But anything that creates a lot of tokens, it's going to be real popular, and it's red. So, go past the commons. Venomous Brutalizer, which we've seen already. Another Skitterfang, seen it already. Used oil counters that it comes into battlefield, comes with 3, and it can give them Flying Vigilance, Death Touch, or Lifelink when you take them off to any creature. Feed the Infection. It's another one, same with the Corruption. And then this is sort of like the Fading, but you can get around it. It's 4 for a 5/5. Comes into play with 4 oil counters. Gains trample when it has 2 or few counters, and then if it's not 2 or less, it has hexproof. So it's real hard to kill. But each upkeep, you're moving oil counter. If you can't, you sacrifice it. So it's sort of got a fading unless you got ways to proliferate on it. Then Full Art Island. Just a nice looking card. Okay. Okay, you got another Feed the Infection out of this one. Paladin of Predation, another one, that same one we pulled earlier, Toxic 6, which is real good. Another Sentry, pulled it already. And another legendary Planeswalker. This set obviously has some rare Planeswalkers. This is a rare one, not a mythic one. Has one, you activate the abilities of creatures you control as though these creatures had haste, which is really good. Stuff has haste when they have it. And you +1, you can untap a creature, so you can attack with someone, then second main phase, untap it. And then the other one, you can mill 3 cards and return one with converted mana cost of 2 or less back to the battlefield. Any creature. So, has some use to it, and then you got Swamp. Full Art Swamp. Last pack in the second box. Bladed Ambassador. Card that has the oil stuff on it to give it indestructible. Another oil counter type card comes into play. And you draw cards equal to it. Pulled that one earlier. Another Infested Flesh Cutter. And we had the Green Sun Zenith. Now we got Red Sun's Twilight. Uh, Looks like you're destroying a lot of artifacts and you're creating tokens that's a copy of those artifacts. If it's 5 or more artifacts you're killing, and they gain haste till you exile them at the next end step. So you can kill artifacts and get a good swing with them right before that, and then another Phyrexia mountain. So that's the second box. Turned out to be pretty good. With the Planeswalkers and all of that, and the full art foil Planeswalker mythic. So, or not the Planeswalker, but the doubling season type one. Had to double. So now we go to our third box. Got the green and black. Every 5th box of these will have a Phyrexian life spin down counter die in it. So do have that for some. So this one has the artifact that creates, you put an oil counter on it at the beginning of combat, then you create X11 or X1 red Phyrexian horrors with trample and haste, X number of oil counters on Ubrask's forge, and then you sacrifice it the next end step. So that's the rare card I got in this one. It's not a mythic, but pretty good rare card it looks like. And let's see, try to move through these. Double-sided token out of this one. Don't see those too often. Do have some that have the poison on the other side, but that one's just 2 tokens. Tainted Observer. It's a toxic one. Infectious Bite. Just, you can deal damage equal to the power to another creature. Then every opponent gets a poison counter. There's another one, non-creature spell. Put a 1/1 oil counter on it, and it's got life equal to the oil counters. This one's another one of those fading, but this one has a little stronger ability. It's 4 for a 6/6 flyer, which is good. It comes with 4 oil counters, but you got to remove one at the beginning of your upkeep. If you can't, you lose the game. But if a creature an opponent control dies, its controller loses 2 life. So as long as you got a way to keep, a sack outlet or a way to keep it from beating you, it is a very powerful card. 4 for a 6/6 flyer is always a real good deal, especially in black. And then I got a full logbook. That one you just pay 6 to draw a card. If you got more artifacts in play, costs less to draw a card. So if you got 6 or 7 other artifacts, you're just paying 1 blue and tapping it each turn to draw a card. Then a Phyrexian plane. Token card. Back to these. Another double strike toxic. Something where you can cause people fond of progress. Can cause people to start milling. It's a new mill card that you can use. Another toxic card. Toxic 2. And another of the 2 or fewer Comes into play tapped unless you got 2 or fewer. And like I said, all the lands are full art, whether they're Phyrexian or regular. The lands are real beautiful out of this set. Token. Commons. That one, when it comes into play, deals X damage, which is creatures with all counters on them. And it's an artifact creature. And then you have another one, hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. XX, whatever you pay, green instant. And then you got another corrupted card. Gains an ability if I got 3 or more poison counters. You know, you have to sacrifice a creature to pull a 6/6 for 4 in, but if they have 3 or more poison counters, you get around that. Then another Phyrexian Arena. No. Draw a card, lose a life. And then a full art mountain. Okay. For each equipment, it's 1 less to cast. It has affinity for equipment. And it takes away indestructible from anything, so it's a good way to get around the indestructible ability. Then you have a another one that with it's a green version with the all counters. Gets +1/+1 for each one. And this one, though, the other's a non-creature. This is a creature one. If it's got power or toughness greater than the evolving adaptive gets another oil counter, which makes it bigger. Then you got a white artifact, Veil of Assimilation. Another oil version, full art, Geth, Thane of Contracts. And then okay, this one, if you get 1 or more poison counters, you can't get any more at the end of turn. So that helps protect you against them. And it's a full art foil. And it looks like the ink style too. But says if you would get 1 or more, you get 1. Can't gain any more at the end of turn. So some of those that give you like 6 poison counters each hit, that would stop it. And then you can exile that card and choose another creature or artifact. When it's put in the graveyard, it returns. But then you lose Malira. But that may be useful. And then you got the Phyrexian Island. A couple more, and then we hit the set boosters. Here's a token that's a legendary artifact creature. The Horror Sentinel. Must be getting created with something. Get the commas out. Waken the Sleeper. Just another red card that you can take control of something till end of turn. Gives it haste and you can attack them. Another 0/0 all counters give it +1/+1. It's a black one. That one gets it if they're put in the graveyard. It gets plus another oil counter. Churning reservoir. Pulled that one earlier. It creates oil counters each upkeep and puts them on stuff. And then Jorkadine, first Gold Warden. Gets X plus X, which is equal to the equipped creatures. So, and it's got full art. And if its power gets greater than 4/4, so you need 2 more equipped creatures, you get to draw a card. So, nice ability than an island. Okay, one more from the pre-release packs, and then we got the set boosters. Try to move through these quick. Back. Atmosphere Surgeon. A Right Priest for this Bloody Ink drawing. Annex Sentry. And a Dragon Wing Glider. It's the 4 Mirrodin equipment that gives it the 2/2 Rebel that you just equip it for. Then you got the planes, full art planes. So those are all of the pre-release packs. That one was okay. That was probably the worst of the 3 I've pulled today. So wasn't terrible, too terrible, but wasn't great either. So now we're going to go to the set boosters. Get an art card in each one. Token card. These you get different stuff. There's a foil card, uncommon. Another affinity for equipment. Here's another rare Planeswalker instead of a mythic. Pretty high casting cost, but it starts with 6 loyalty for 7, it looks like. Each opponent loses 3 life, you gain 3 life. Pretty nice. Draw 2 cards. Each opponent may scry 1. Okay, you give them scry. You get +2 for the they lose 3 and you gain 3. Zeros the draw 2 cards and they scry. Okay, and then this is, it creates a token if you exile a target equipment or enchantment, creature or enchantment. Lonzadine and Aura, you create a token that's a copy. It's a 1/1 white spirit creature with flying in addition to other types. So, okay, Planeswalker, another right Priest, ink drawing, another Sentry, pulled a couple of those. Ambulatory Edifice, black artifact. Another Veil of Assimilation, white artifact. These are commons. And then a full art planes. I said the full art lands, they look nice. Whether they're Phyrexian or not, they're all pretty nice. Art card. Here's a list card, green with Mountain Walk 2/3. It's a horror, but it's part of the list. Gliss's Courier. So it's from another set. It was a common, though, it looks like. Foil Thumbing Bird, ink blot version. Nice. White and blue, 2 or fewer lands, and then it comes into play tapped. Another rare planeswalker. Only one creature can attack the planeswalker each combat. This is also the full art ink black and white version, so real nice. Creates a 2/2 white samurai for 0+1. You exile 1 target artifact or creature. Return it the next end step so it blinks, and then -4. Each player choose a creature that player controls. Sacrifice all creatures that are chosen this way. So you lose, but they do too when you choose. But nice planeswalker nonetheless. Common. Tamiyo Immobilizer, another blue artifact. The logbook that lets you draw cards, especially if you can get more artifacts out. Regular art Thumbing Bird. We've been seeing the oil version, so there's a regular art one. Straighten these up here. And then commons, and then you got the Phyrexia Forest. All the lands are really nice out of this one. Really like the full art. Okay, art card. Okay. Apostle of Invasion, a corrupted card's the full card in it. Now we got the Blue Sun's Twilight. It's gain control of target creature. And if it's 5 or more, you create a token that's a copy of it when you control it. So X or less. So that's a control magic type thing. Uncommon Myrrh. They got something in there that's going to make the Myrrhs real powerful. Right Priest for the regular art. I think they've been mainly blurred art or the ink art. A communion card. Sonara gives something toxic. And then the Plains card. Seen several of that one. That exact same full art Plains. I can get this one open. Art card. Common Telemorphic Expanse foil card. This is another one they've leaked out, the Staff of Completion. It's a mythic artifact. You pay life for everything you do, but each time whatever life you pay, you go up and then you do different stuff. The first one, you can destroy permanent you own for 1 life. 2 life, add 1 mana of any color. 3, you proliferate. 4, you draw a card. And 5, you don't have to pay life. You pay 5 mana, you can untap Staff of Completion. So it'll probably be bigger in Commander games where life is a resource, instead of the 20 life where you don't have enough to use it. Couple drawing, Churning Reservoir. Another Sky Warden. Big red creature. Another big red creature, but more to cast. A finisher. has affinity for equipment, so it won't be as much to cast if you got equipment. Then a real nice one, foil Phyrexia land. Real nice looking there. Another art card. Get one of those in each one of these. Common foil, oil counter type thing. No oil counter. You just tap it to proliferate. Two or fewer land, black and red. Alternate art. Lets you do you sacrifice it and you can choose one. Can either destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, or proliferate. Another the black 0/0 that you add counters to. One we haven't seen yet, I don't think, Scrap Gorger. The green version of the 0/0, evolving adaptive. Then Full Art Mountain. Okay, last pack. Haven't been doing too good out of these either, it doesn't seem. So hopefully this one will make up for the other 5 being blah. Art card. Linen Arbiter. It's a list card. Players can't search their libraries, but if they pay 2, they can ignore the effect. So, could be good. The Shepherd. Common card. Create might creatures. Here's another one. It's an actual might creature that can't block. It's not a Phyrexia might, but it is a Phyrexia might type. But the Ravager. The Golem that gives them +1/+1 if they got oil. Moving the oil counters to give stuff different abilities. One, you can sacrifice something and then use its casting cost to do that damage. And a Phyrexian Island. So that's what we got. Total of that, 6, 6, 6, 18 plus 6. So there's 24 packs. That time did a lot better out of the pre-release kits than I did any of the set boosters. That can go either way. A lot of times set boosters will have some better ones, but this time I got a lot better out of. But I also had, 3 times the amount coming out of the draft boosters that come out of the pre-release packs. But there's just some of the stuff you got in the new Phyrexia. All will be one set, and the values will probably be a little higher now until they settle out. Once it gets released, they'll probably all be a little lower than what they're showing right now as they go out, and then later they'll even out, and then some will go back up, some won't. So that's sort of what you get. Looks like today we got more of our values out of the pre-release packs, so maybe that's be the way to go with these. You do get the one card that will at least be a rare or a mythic out of each one. Foil pre-release. $25 is normally around the cost you get the pre-release packs for, so they look like that'd be the better deal. Till next time, I'm going to be trying to open more boxes and stuff. This is the first video. Uh, I'll be a lot better when I got the sets that I know something a little about. This one was just sort of done on the fly. It just came out today. All I've seen a few of the spoilers and know some of the cards that were going to be kind of big, but not much more known except for a few of the spoilers I'd seen, like the little white Dublin season. I know that's going to be a big one. Uh, Several of the planeswalkers, some will be pretty big out of that too. So you see some of the cards. There's some more in there. I know there's a couple of other planeswalkers that have some pretty powerful effects that I didn't get. And there's probably at least a couple more of the Suns that will have better abilities. And mainly you get out of this one, the oil counters are one of the new things. The oil counters do a lot. And then Toxic's a big ability. That's a quick way to kill them. Even in Commander, you only need 10 toxic counters to kill someone. Although Wizards of the Coast said they were going to look at this and they may modify it at a later date. But as of right now, you still only need 10. And for the pre-releases today and this weekend, you will only need 10 to win the game. Till next time, this is the Pac-Man for Magic the Gathering. See you soon.